Hey geeks, so today Sony just announced a new camera, the Sony ZV-1F, and currently this is the cheapest camera for people who actually want to get into a Sony system and who primarily is going to be vlogging, creating YouTube videos. And once they announced this and I actually saw the price, it made me think, was it a mistake for me to get this Sony A7IV, which is way more expensive, and especially for somebody like myself, I'm not a pro videographer or photographer. With the Sony ZV-1F been a better purchase versus getting something like the Sony A7IV? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this camera because I do find it interesting. And so the camera itself, it's actually part of their ZV line. And this one is similar to the ZV-1, except with less features. And if you look at here, Sony is primarily marketing towards people who do vlogging, which is the whole point of this whole ZV line. And if you actually look at the price itself, which I think is the biggest selling point, it's going to be $500. In this case, it's $498, but let's just say $500. And at that price, it's definitely the cheapest in the Sony camera line. And it pretty much gives what most people want who's primarily shooting videos, especially if you're going to be doing vlogging or YouTube videos. It has a flip out screen. It has a very simple, compact design. It just has a 1-inch sensor and a microphone with a windscreen. So it practically gives you everything you need to start vlogging, creating content for your YouTube channel or any other platform. And then whenever you look at the other cameras in the ZV line, this one is at $700, the original ZV-1, and then the ZV-E10 is $800 or $798. So when you compare it to those, this is a really great option if you're looking to get into a real camera on a budget. But if you actually look at the price and then you kind of look at like the features or lack of features, especially when you compare it to these other cameras in the ZV lines or even cameras above that, and then you start to wonder, is this going to be better than sticking with your smartphone? And that's really the target market of this. Is for people who are primarily using their phones, and Sony wants to get them into a real camera and basically wants to get them to the Sony ecosystem. So then later in the future, they'll purchase something like this or stay within the Sony line. So that's kind of like the whole point of Sony doing this. They're going to make it affordable for people to get in, and then they'll stay in their entire ecosystem. So my thoughts on this is kind of mixed, okay? Because if I'm just looking at it by the specs and the price and everything else, I think this is great for people who just want to do only that. They want a really simple way to do their vlogging, to do their YouTube videos, and they don't want to deal with all the complexities of the more expensive cameras, and especially the costs of everything when it comes to using a quote-unquote real camera. And in that case, I would say it's okay, but say, for example, you have a really, really good phone, okay? So let's say, for example, that you have a premium phone, okay? You will have a iPhone 14 or latest Samsung Galaxies or a Google Pixel 7 or 7 Pro. In that case, I don't know if it makes sense for you to spend $500 for this camera. Even though a lot of the initial reviews and tests that I'm seeing, the image is better, but it's not significantly better versus these high-end phones. Now, versus something like this, I have my OnePlus. This is a budget phone. It's like $250 to $300. It's way better than this. But whenever you compare it against a premium smartphone, it's not significantly better. And so my thought on that is, if you actually wanted to get into a real camera, I think you should definitely save up your money for that, okay? Now, if you already have like a budget phone like I do, and you want to get a better camera, and you're not going to go ahead and pay a lot of money for a flagship camera that's basically just has better cameras, then I think it would make sense for you to get the ZV-1F because you will get better quality while not spending too much more money. But if you already have a really good phone that has great cameras, then I would say save up your money for something like the ZV-1, ZV-E10, Or if you're going to take this a lot more seriously, you would save up your money for something like the Sony A7IV. And I think that would be a lot better use of your money. And at the same time, once you do get into a real camera, even if it's an entry level, at some point, you're just going to want to upgrade. I don't know what it is about camera gear and so forth, but once you get one, you kind of just keep spending more and more money. So that's my overall thoughts on a Sony ZV-1F. In short, if you already have a flagship or premium phone that takes really great videos and photographs, I don't think this is worth it. But if you have a budget phone and you want better video quality, then I think it is worth it. And if you actually want to get into the whole world of real cameras, then I'd recommend that you just save up your money and get something that's better, so then you don't have to upgrade so much in the future, and this is more of an investment. So if you actually had any thoughts on this or any other cameras you've enjoyed, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to see my initial review of my Sony A7IV, my unboxing and thoughts, I'll leave a video up here as well, and I'll leave in the description area below. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool news at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below.